Hello and welcome back to unemployment day 5. 5 whole days of unemployment. Wow, doing well. There really isn't much of a plan with this day today. I haven't really thought of much. I'm feeling pretty demotivated today, and I can't really get focused. I think it's just because I was just thinking, oh, I've got so much I want to do, but I don't know the path. If I knew the exact way to get to where I wanted to be, I'd be doing it right now. But I don't really know, so I'm just trying this for now. If that makes sense. Anyway, um, yeah, there's not really much of a plan. As I was saying yesterday, I found this book that was making this to-do list, um, and yeah, it works. It's great. I do like it. It's annoying that I found it, but I said that before, so I'm just repeating myself. Anyway, I was going through this book, and I'll just explain the changes that I've done with it. So, I'll start with this main. So this main is just where this is what you actually build. This is um, actually uses the to do API, right? So we call in the API here, this is just my mod file, but this is what you call it. And then we have a file name, and there's an environment variable that the user can set to um, change their own to-do file names. So you can put it to wherever they want, and then it uses that instead. Anyway, we use flags, which is I found quite interesting. So they're just different things that you're looking for inside the command line. So here is add. In the command line, it's looking for dash add, which is quite cool. So basically what you say is you run the file like this, and you say dash add, and then you put in the task that you want to actually do. So you have to do it in quotation marks. You say make bed. Right, and that'll work. I'll show that in a second. So this just checks to see if there is an add thing, and then this checks to see if they say list, and this checks to see if they say complete with an in next to it. And then it passes that into the flag, and then you make the list using, or you make the list pointer using the reference to an instantiation of the struct list from the other file I'll show in a second. And then you try to get the file. If there is an error, print the error and exit, but hopefully there won't be an error. And then we have a switch which checks what the user input actually is. So it checks to see if it's a list, and they're all pointers. Why? Because they just are, I guess. I guess flag.ball references the location or the memory location of this stuff, and then you got to dereference it using the pointer. So if they want the list, then you print the list. I'll show this in a second. If they want to complete something and they have a value this above 0, it will try to complete it. If there is an error, print the error, exit, and then you try to save. If there's an error, print the error, exit, and then if it is add, you use there's a new get task function. This used to just be an add function, but it shows you down here actually. There's a get task function that allows for different types of inputs. So I don't really know how this works, to be honest. I literally just copied this from this book, but I'm trying to understand it, so I will get it. I probably shouldn't have added it if I don't understand it, but it was just the end of the section, so I just thought, why not? But basically, this checks what type of input it is, and then this is all of the arguments. So this is a veratic, I think, veratic variable, so it can be 0 or more arguments can be inputted in here. So like instead of it being 2, 3, 4, it's just that whole variable there shown by the ellipsis. And then if there is an error, print the error, exit. If not, we use the add function. So this is the list object, and we can add type task, which was extracted from this get task function. And then try to say if it doesn't work, don't do anything. And then if they don't actually say any of the options, then it gives them an error. So here we have the function that I don't truly understand. It's basically like allows for different types of reading, different types of inputs, I guess, yeah. So IO input, this is a variable R of type IO reader, which is just a type of reader, I guess, for an input. And then this is the args I was talking about before, and it will return a string and an error. Then if len args is greater than 0, so if the user does input some arguments, then return that as the task. So this return here gets put into here, and then it adds all of that to L, right? But if this doesn't happen, if the len of args is 0 or less, I guess if it's nothing, yeah, then it will carry on to here, and it uses the new scanner using the R. So I guess args comes from the command line, and I guess this would come from somewhere else. So maybe on the book it was saying, on HTTP packets on like a different input, I don't really know. Then it would use that reader and scan it. So this makes sense. Yeah, I know how scan works. And then yeah, it tries to scan so it pulls all the information from it. Then if there's an error, return the error. If not, or if the length of the text from the scan is 0, then the person has just basically said task and then they've not actually put anything in there. But then if all of that doesn't happen, then it's worked and then you return text and no error. Cool, that makes sense. So then we have the API as I shown before. Nothing has changed too much here. This is all the same. Yeah, this is all the same as well, I think. Yeah. And then we have delete, which I'll show that. I'll talk about that in a second. Get, but then we have string. So this is like, I don't know what language. I think in Java you can override the toString. This is basically a toString here, of or for the L struct, right? So basically, when I showed before, when you want to get all of the tasks, you can just do print, right? And if you didn't have it formatted, it would just look wrong. So you can format it in your own way. And in the book, it basically says if you own the API, as if you have this code, you can change the formatting of the printing. But if you don't, then you can just change it here. Like instead of this, it would be fmt.println, and then I could do, L dot I don't know, L dot get, and then all this stuff, right? So what this does is, it makes a formatted variable of type string, and then for every value in the L list, it has an index and its value, its value, so its task. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So we have a for loop that loops through all of the items in L, so basically all the tasks in the list, and it assigns an I, so an index, and then a value, which is just the task, and then we have a prefix, which is just a space. And if the task is done, we can prefix it with an X. This is not my code. This is all copied from the book, but I do understand how this works. So yeah, if said task, or if one of the tasks is done and the prefix will not have this, it will have this, right? And then we add to the formatted using sprintf. So I assume that sprintf doesn't actually print it out. It just assigns it to a variable. It can be used to assign to a variable, so that's useful. And then we format it. So this basically says I want to put a string here. I want to put a digit or an int next to it, colon, a string, and then a new line. So the first string is the prefix, so it's either blank or it's X if it's done, and then we have an index, so the index starts at 0, but then a list starts from 1 in real life, so you add 1. And then we have the final task, which is just value.task, which makes sense. And then we return all of that into the print here. Cool. So yeah, the plan for this video is just to run through these tasks here, or just try and do as many of them as I can, to make the thingamajig a little bit better, make the project a bit better. I probably would speed up for it, so I'll try not to talk so it doesn't become all squirrel voice, but I'll probably give this one a go. So implement flag delete to delete an item from the list. Use delete from method from that API to perform the action. Okay, so redo / list. Okay, I've got 3 things. That's quite useful. So if I want to delete number 2, okay, no error. Oh, interesting. A what? Delete one. So it doesn't do anything, but there's no error either. What if I say delete nothing? Flag needs an argument. Okay. Let's see then. Or it's just, oh yeah, it is deleting. It's just not saving it. So then every time you run it, it's just pulling it from the JSON. See, look, that's what we know. That's what we know. If error dot equals, so I'm assigning this error to l.save file name to do file. The error. So if there is an error, then f.println, you must tell me the error of named error. os.exit. This is gonna work. I can just feel it. We're already been going 21 minutes. Oh my god. So what this does is that it deletes it and tries to save it. Cool. I already know it works. I don't even need to run it. Check the list again. I'll clear it. Do this nicer. Check the list. So I need to make my room, make my bed, go for a walk. I have just completed go for a walk. I bet you know what the issue is now. That's now wrong. I bet the old version was right, because now it was all right, but I just had it saving wrong. I don't know what this does. I think, in my brain, this colon means everything to the left of a list. Do I have that Pinter thing? Okay. Let's try and write this so I can explain this to myself, really. Pinter is ready. Okay. Log in. So, we need to have 10. I have... Can I just do boxes, maybe? That'd be a good idea. I have 5 items in a list of different sizes, apparently. Right? And I want to delete this one. So what the colon does, colon here, looks at all of these and then saves them, I think. So it was I minus 1. Yeah, well, I minus 1 basically means, yeah, so the user says, okay, look. Computer sees this, 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna do that, and I'll do 4. So computer sees this, but then the user sees 1, 2, 3, that's a 3 by the way, 4, 5. So the user says, I want to delete number 3. The computer turns it into 2, because it's I minus 1, and then has to read it from there. So then I minus 1 colon means I want to save these things on the left, and then I colon means 3 and onwards I want to keep, or yeah. So then it just ignores this middle one. Wait. I think that's how that works. Cool. Debunked. Debunked, I say. So let's do a couple more tests in here. So, wait, but did it not work though? Why did it not work? Oh, I didn't test it again. List. Aha! See, I understand how it works. So, why don't we do this? Look, watch this. H, it tells you, it's like a help function. It tells you what to do. That flags has got its own default thing where it tells you, okay, dash add task to a list, complete int, complete specified task, delete int, delete task. So if I do, sorry, if I forgot everything already. So if I do complete, I've done make. Can I list it again? Boom, prefix, mental. I guess that should be a little bit nice. It needs a space beforehand so it looks good, or it's prefix space then. There we go. See, that looks better, doesn't it? So now we've got a prefix on it. Down. 26 minutes to do my first task. Now that is progression. That might just be it, to be honest. Maybe I'll because that's kind of a long video. It takes an hour to export a 20-minute video. Add another flag to enable verbose output showing information like date and time. Add another flag to prevent displaying completed items. Complete the custom usage function. So what happens if I was to be a user and I did this? I want to list and I want to delete too. Doesn't work. But yeah, but what if you wanted to do more than one thing? If I was like duh duh, how would I do that in here? Can I? Oh, because I would, if I wanted to, what I want to do is it has on delete. You can have delete, and then you can have, you know, -c, or a flag that checks if -c, and then it checks both of them. But I don't know how to add flags on top of each other. Alright, after some quick googling, I think I actually can do it. So let's just quickly do a completed or a show flag. Right. Probably speed through this. Aha! So it works. So what I did is I made a new flag, show. It's a bool, so if they have show in there, then it will work. And then inside of the list, you pass in the show, so it's default false. So if they don't say anything, then it won't. It will just show everything. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I guess default way shouldn't show the things that you've done because you've already done them. But then if you want to show them, then you can, which is cool. I think that's good. Am I mudded? No, not mudded. So the problem was that basically string, the string function just like this, can belong to something, but it has to have no arguments in it, right? That was the problem with this, is that even though I had it, this was fine, you can have it as a method, but you can't have any arguments in it. I guess it's because the way that, I think it's probably an interface, the way that it works, it's set to have no arguments, so the interface probably looks like this. It's like interface type strings interface, right? Probably has a string function like this, a string method that returns a string. I guess is that how you do it, like that. But hey, it would actually have to be like this, right? If I wanted to do it like that. But that's, yeah, that's by the by. I think that's how. Well, I think that's how I explain that. So, um, yeah, basically you check if they want to show, then you add the stuff as normally, but if not, then you check to see if the value is done, then you skip them, and then if the value is not done, then you actually add it to the formatting thing. So yeah. So yeah, not much today. Not much today's video. I'm going to probably do a lot more work just in general today because it's quite early. Normally I'm recording my videos about 8 p.m. I know it's 1:30, so I got all day to start working. I'm feeling good now. I was feeling pretty not bored, but you know, I wanted to do a lot, but didn't have much of a direction. But now I can change these errors and try and fix this stuff, which will be good. Any experience is good. Um, yeah, I'll just see for day 6. I'll probably write in the description what else I did today, or I'll just show it tomorrow. So day 5 done. See you tomorrow.